For most of history, humans were mere bystanders to the natural world. Today, we are the dominant source of change on the planet. As our global population grows and international trade expands, we must ask a practical question. Can we continue to build economic prosperity while living within the physical limits of the Earth? To find the answer, we have to look at the three pillars of sustainability: the environment, the economy, and people. Keep them equal and the system holds. Place too much weight on any single pillar, and the entire structure collapses. The scientist David Suzuki frames the physical reality of this balance clearly. We live in a finite world with finite resources. There is an absolute limit to the amount of oil, coal, and gas in the ground, and a strict limit to the carbon our atmosphere can absorb. Sustainability provides the blueprint for running human progress within the planet's strict, unforgiving boundaries. Consider the concept of stewardship. Many indigenous communities approach natural resources through a multigenerational lens. Elder Mary Louie of the Silks Nation describes water as Mother Earth's blood, a life source that must be carefully preserved for descendants. That generational timeline frequently collides with the global forestry industry, which relies on aggressive, short-term harvest cycles to meet international demand for lumber and paper. We see the result of this collision in Grassy Narrows, Ontario. Decades of intensive, unregulated logging polluted the local river system with mercury, poisoning the fish and devastating the community's health and traditional way of life. When an economic engine extracts value without regulation, it pays for that rapid growth by directly cannibalizing the local environment and the people who rely on it. Scale this up to a national level. Canada's macroeconomy relies heavily on extracting finite natural resources from its vast landscape and exporting them to the United States and global markets. But extracting resources faster than they can regenerate leads to sudden ruin. In the late 20th century, commercial fleets off Canada's east coast pulled cod from the ocean at unsustainable rates. The fishery completely collapsed, putting tens of thousands out of work. Today, the economic engine has shifted to Alberta's oil sands. This massive fossil fuel extraction effort draws tens of thousands of workers across provincial lines, creating intense localized wealth, but leaving a deep geographic scar. To keep the country stable as wealth concentrates in one area, the federal government uses equalization payments. Tax revenue from the booming resource sectors is redistributed to fund schools and hospitals in less wealthy provinces, propping up the people pillar. Building an entire national economy on finite extraction creates a highly volatile equilibrium. When the resource inevitably runs out or global demand shifts, both the workforce and the environment are left stranded. Globalization accelerates these tensions by driving millions of people into dense urban centers. Mexico City's population swelled to 26 million, and millions of aging vehicles trapped beneath the surrounding mountains created a severe, toxic layer of smog. But globalization also offers mechanisms to fix this. To comply with the environmental standards of the North American Free Trade Agreement, Mexico City launched a public transportation initiative, deploying clean transit technology to successfully clear the air. Unfortunately, fixing a local problem doesn't erase the global footprint. Halfway across the world, agricultural conglomerates are clear-cutting millions of hectares of carbon-absorbing South American rainforest to plant vast fields of soybeans. Those soybeans are exported to feed the rapid urbanization of China, where millions of people are moving into newly constructed high-rises on land that used to be local arable farms. In our hyper-connected economy, local prosperity is often an illusion. The ecological cost of building a skyscraper in Asia is simply paid by a burning forest in Brazil. The reason we keep making these destructive trades comes down to how we measure success. For decades, we've relied on gross domestic product, or GDP. But GDP only counts financial transactions. It ignores the real-world cost of a poisoned river or a depleted forest. This chart shows a necessary systemic upgrade, the Genuine Progress Indicator, or GPI. It places all three pillars, economy, environment, and people, onto a single, mathematically rigorous balance sheet. The GPI calculates the value of social goods, like education and community health, and then explicitly subtracts the long-term debts of pollution, resource depletion, and crime. When these environmental costs are integrated into trade agreements and national policies, the financial incentive shifts. For-profit industries begin adopting sustainable technologies, like precision drip irrigation, to protect the natural resources their future revenue depends on. This new integrated approach serves as the essential rulebook for maintaining a global system that can survive indefinitely.